Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of HumblePie. We have a motto here, which is everyone eats it. We like to talk about the personal calamities and suffering and challenges that lead to professional greatness. As usual, the podcast is brought to you by Pi. We are the only social app you will ever need. And our focus is on supercharging your social life so you can spend more time with your existing friends and meet some new people. Pi is available in the App Store. As well as in the Play Store. You can find us on Instagram at @Pie, P-I-E, that stands for People I Enjoy. Today we have an amazing episode, one of the great conveners of people, IRL creators, community builders that I've ever gotten to know. His name is Andrew Yeung, and Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I feel like a long time coming. Wanted to do this for a while, so I'm glad we're getting together.
Can't wait. And we were supposed to get coffee before this and catch up, and then I realized, you know what? We can just catch up on the podcast and
do it live.
See where we go.
Yeah.
So one of the things I love about your story is you're an immigrant. And you came here at a time where you didn't know that many people. Tell us how you started meeting people.
Yeah, so I came here in August 2020.
Yep.
It had always been my dream to live in New York City because I spent most of my life in China. And in China, all the media is sort of like American media. And so we had Spider-Man, all that stuff was based out of New York City.
Yeah.
And so it was always my dream to one day live in New York. And so I decided in 2020, when New York was the hotbed of COVID, to come here.
Wait, COVID had already started.
Yeah,
when you decided to come here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my dad, I remember he's like, you're crazy. Like my mom was like, please don't do this to us. I remember her saying that.
And your parents live in China.
They were in China at the time.
Okay.
They're now in Canada.
Okay.
But at the time, the borders had closed.
Where in China?
They were in Hong Kong at the time.
Okay.
Or it might have been Shanghai.
Okay.
We lived in both places. But travel was banned, and so we couldn't see each other. I hadn't seen them for at the point it was just 1 year.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of nerves, and they were like, please don't go to New York.
Yeah.
They knew it was my dream, but it just seemed irresponsible. But I got Facebook to sponsor my visa and move me here, and that's sort of another story. But I got here, and the city was empty.
Yeah.
But I was so excited, and I just wanted to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to all these online forums. I went to Reddit. I went to Twitter, LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
This app called Fishbowl. I don't know if you've heard of Fishbowl. It's for consultants.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get a job in consulting. I would have done anything to live in New York City.
Yeah.
And then Blind. Blind is like Fishbowl for tech people.
Okay.
And I just posted on all these platforms, and I was like, who wants to meet up?
Yeah.
Who wants to hang out? And even at that point, people were sort of weary. Like, who is this weirdo asking us to hang out on these forums? But then one person came out, and more, and more, and eventually, just sort of built a small community for myself.
Yeah. And did you feel weird doing that? Did that come naturally to you? Or was that like a step for you at that time to kind of put yourself out there saying you wanted to meet people? What was that like psychologically?
You know what? I've always been a little anxious and introverted. And growing up, I was so anxious. I couldn't say hi to girls. I couldn't even order food at restaurants.
Wait, what? You couldn't order food at restaurants?
It was hard. Yeah, I remember arriving in Canada for the first time.
Okay.
First time living in North America.
Yeah.
And I just found it so intimidating to have to pick something from the menu and then communicate it to the waiter or waitress. And they'll ask you more questions, and then it's like an interview process, and I always felt like they were judging me.
I only feel that way at Outback Steakhouse when you order the chocolate thunder from Down Under. I still have a hard time saying that. Anyways, it's a dessert at Outback.
That's a dessert?
But this is crazy. You felt, how old were you at the time?
I was 17, I think.
So it's like waiter comes by and it's like, I'll take a grilled chicken salad and a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And that would create social anxiety for you.
Honestly, it started before that.
Okay.
Walking to the restaurant and being greeted by a hostess. I was like, what do I say? And how do I act cool? And then I was being seated, and then everything from them coming with the waters and them asking you how you were. That's not a thing in China.
It's not a thing.
Yeah, they don't ask you how you are.
No one cares how you're doing.
Yeah, you should see if you go to you ever been to Hong Kong?
Yeah.
You go to Hong Kong and you look at the restaurant reviews, they're all shit because there's no service. They just come by and they're like, just tell me what you want. There's no pleasantries, no small talk.
Yeah.
It's just very different from America.
And did that social anxiety, was that a thing for you with friends growing up? Did you have friends? Did you have close friends? Did you
I
have
had
a lot of
friends.
friends? With them, did you feel uncomfortable, like maybe at first, or?
No, I was fine with them. Okay. I was fine with my crew.
So it was more like strangers.
Strangers, yeah. Strangers was hard, like meeting new people for the first time.
Okay, so this doesn't square at all with someone who moves to New York that wants to move to the most populous American city.
Yeah.
The busiest, the craziest.
Yeah.
By the way, during the pandemic, which is the weirdest time to move, right?
Yeah.
You had our president at the time saying that COVID came from China.
Right.
You're like, I'm going to come in and then start posting online to meet complete strangers. How does the person you're describing who was scared, asking for a table for two, become the kind of person that is putting themselves out there that way?
Well, there's two parts to it. Okay. One was that when I was in the process, or like right before the process of wanting to move to America, I sort of went through this quarter life crisis, whatever. Every part of my life I thought sucked. And I wasn't happy with my career, with my relationships.
How old were you when you moved here?
I was 24, 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally the quarter life crisis.
Yeah. And so I told myself, and I wasn't happy with who I was. And so I told myself, if I achieved the goal of being able to live and work in New York City, I would reinvent myself.
Yeah.
And I would sort of forget all the fears and insecurities and all the bad habits I once had, throw them out the window. And when I landed in New York, I would be a different person.
And you felt kind of like Spider-Man.
Yeah. A little bit like, yeah.
But where was like Spider-Man superhero? Like what more pragmatic or realistic references made you feel like New York? Right? Like I'm sure there's a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
In China, other parts of the world,
right,
who were like you. They feel unfulfilled, didn't know who they were.
It was everything.
Some tiny subset of those people are like, I'm going to move to New York City, which some people say is the hardest city in the world to make it. Like, why New York? Go a little deeper for me than Spider-Man.
It's just a place. I mean, it's not just Spider-Man. It's every movie, every TV show, every movie. I have to try hard to name it, but every single movie I watched was about New York. All the rom-coms, all the action movies, all the thrillers was all based in Madison Avenue, Central Park. Home Alone is one, actually. I watched all four. I think there's four of them.
I thought Home Alone was in Illinois.
I think they go to New York.
Yeah, okay. That's
I think. I remember there's what?
Maybe that Home Alone one. Yeah,
Home Alone one? Yeah, maybe. But I remember there's a scene where they hide under the bridge in Central Park or something like that.
And by the way, what did your parents say at that time? Was it like, okay, if you can figure it out, and you mentioned that Facebook played a role in you getting here?
Yeah.
Like, tell us literally about that journey of you've got a crazy dream.
Yeah.
You know you're not happy with where you're at. Like, pragmatically, how did you execute against that strategy?
So I was working at this company called Bell at the time.
Okay.
You might know what it is. Most people don't.
Okay.
It's the... it's a very traditional company, the Verizon of Canada. Mm-hmm. And, nobody really goes from Bell to a tech company. They go from Bell to like maybe a bank or something, or maybe consulting. Mm-hmm. And they certainly don't go to New York. And so at the time, it's a very similar process to me sort of building my community here. I just started reaching out to people on LinkedIn. And at that point, I had, so when I arrived here, I had something like 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. And people have always asked me, how did you build that following?
Yeah.
And the answer is I didn't. I DM'd 10,000 people and asked them to get on the coffee chat with me or virtual coffee with me. And I sort of just like networked my way in. And that long story short, just a lot of networking, a lot of interviewing.
So you always had a boldness in you. Like you had a digital boldness.
Yeah. It's so easy online.
Right?
It's so easy online to like talk to people and reach people. And I guess that's the second part to the question you asked me earlier, which is like, how did you think about building your community in New York? Posting online is so easy. Yeah. Creating a plan is so easy.
Yeah.
It's not until 5 minutes before the actual event where you're like, oh shit, this is happening. But posting, it's cheap.
Yeah.
And it's unlimited. You can post as much as you want.
Okay. So now I can picture you here. I picture you getting here. Where are you living, by the way, at that point?
It was awesome. Facebook put me in this like corporate housing thing, this 1-bedroom apartment in Chelsea. It was a beautiful one bedroom apartment.
Okay. So you're here. I can picture that.
Yeah.
I can picture you like posting on Reddit and other places. But what about that first meetup where now you actually have to see someone in real life, or one of those first couple things where you like got together with a group of people at the park, or like tell us about that.
Yeah.
That first one, or what were those like?
I think, I don't remember, but I think the first one was either off Reddit or Fishbowl. Mm-hmm. I think I met with this engineer. The thing about these platforms is that there are a lot of sort of, call it like techie people.
Yeah.
They're like my people, you know, like a little awkward and like maybe a little shy. Yeah. And so like the first 10 people I met were like that. They're like me's. They were like great online, but in person, like maybe a little bit anxiety. Yeah. And so we got along just fine. In fact, I always felt like when I met people online in person, I felt like I was like the more outgoing one. Yeah. So that was very comfortable for me. And it wasn't until, I'm sure we'll get into it, until it started to like expand and snowball. Yeah. Where I was like, I have to like improve my social skills and like get public speaking training and learn to speak better and like learn to be in rooms better and own the room and all that kind of stuff. That came a little later. But the first like few months were totally fine. Yeah.
Let's talk about owning the room. So I think the cliff notes here from my vantage point are you started convening better and bigger groups of people. You started filtering for people that you really click with. You started getting thoughtful about like where and all kinds of fun stuff of like, how do you actually build a great community? We can get into some of that if you want, but I want to skip to the step of now you are like the man, kind of like you're getting people together. You're the face of the experience, but you yourself are this, kid from China who's still trying to evolve and figure out how to show up. What did you do?
I think part of you, just like building a company just adapts over time because you get these new challenges. Mm-hmm. I was never good at public speaking until someone told me I should start speaking at events because people are wondering who the host is. Right. And I didn't start doing that until 2 years in. I would always kind of like stay in the background. And so I started speaking at events and I realized, oh man, I kind of suck at speaking. And we sort of talked about this. I was asking you for advice. And so I started getting training and getting a little better at the speaking thing.
Did that help?
The training? Yeah, for sure.
What do they do? Like when it's time for public speaking training, like where do I go? What do they do? How long does it take? How much does it cost?
So I didn't want to get trained by like a business executive speaking coach because those guys are really expensive. Yeah. They're like $5,000 to $6,000 a month. I couldn't afford that. So I found like an off-Broadway kind of like acting coach.
Oh, cool.
And she was like $80 a month.
How'd you find her?
Sorry, $80 an hour. Okay. Just Google. I just Googled a bunch of stuff. And she taught me, well, I think one is like the practice is very helpful. Yeah. It's very awkward, but it's very helpful. Reps. Yeah. And then the thing that sort of opened my mind is the vocal exercises and like the ways, the way Americans speak is very different from how Chinese people speak in terms of like tonality and how you emphasize different parts of your, of the speech. Yeah. For example, I found out that I'm Cantonese. Cantonese people speak very flat.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, like Lehoma, Ogamenga, Andrew. It's like very like. Okay. Yeah, and then especially American English, it's like you have to really emphasize things, which I still haven't got it the hang of it, but you have to really like enunciate and emphasize different parts, and rhythm matters. There's no rhythm in Cantonese. It's all like the same thing. Okay. So there's more of like it's more dynamic. So I had to do that, and then I had to learn these exercises, which is basically me like screaming at the wall and sighing and doing all these like, vocal cord thingies.
Whoa, she had you do that.
Yeah.
With her at first.
With her at first, yeah.
And then you would do it on your own.
Just in a shower every day. It was weird.
What kind of sighing? Give us an example.
Oh man. So there's this thing called the soft palate. It's like this the ball back there. It's like right next to the ball. And when you yawn, so a lot of speakers and actors do this. They will yawn before they speak because it softens up the soft palate, and your voice is able to come out more easily. So even if you yawn right now, she made me yawn like 10 times before we start training.
Yeah.
It allows the voice and the volume to come out more easy.
Okay. Wait, let's try it. So what is something, did you already do these yawns before this?
I did a little bit. Yeah, I wasn't kidding.
Did you do?
I did like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would be an example of something I could say that after the yawn would improve?
I think you have to, so you actually can see the impact right away, but you have to yawn like 10 times.
Okay. Wait, but, and then what will happen?
And then you find you'll feel like your throat is less restrictive. I don't know if you ever feel this way, but sometimes when you talk, it's like stuck and you can't get, it's like stuck in here.
Stuck. It's stuck in here. It's stuck in here. No, I didn't change anything. But it works.
It works.
Now
it works.
are you actually doing that before you give a talk in a public setting?
So I talk before every dinner I host, and Jacob from my team has started to call me out because I'll give like a 5-minute speech before our dinners.
Yeah.
Like, why are we here? And like introducing everyone in the room. I'll run into the bathroom stall for like 2-3 minutes, and I'll like yawn, and I'll do this thing called power posing.
Yeah.
You know power posing?
Nope.
It's like you do this. And the reason you do this is because it apparently, like if you look at Olympic athletes when they win a race, they're like this. Yeah. Because there's a lot of like testosterone and all that stuff sort of is released when you do that.
Whoa.
And the thinking is like you reverse it. So they feel successful, so they do this. But maybe if you do this, you'll feel successful and confident.
You got to be in a big stall.
Big stall. I'm not a massive dude, so small, like a medium-sized stall.
And then it puts you, it kind of like reverse engineers those feelings in your body.
Yeah, I feel so much better. Like I do this, I yawn. There's a bunch of like mouth stretching.
For example?
The mouth stretching?
Yeah.
I mean, like you just stick your fingers in here and you just stretch it like this.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you like massage your lip, you massage your jaw.
I've never done any of this.
It's great. You feel so free after. Like you can talk for like hours.
Should I do this before dinner with my wife? Like, does this apply to everything?
Anytime you're speaking.
I'm going to do power poses at home. She'd be like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to be like, I just want to feel like a winner. I just want to feel like a winner tonight.
It works.
You started that a couple years ago?
Yeah, like two years ago.
And then how did you build a business? I think there's like a lot of people out there who like bringing other people together.
Yeah.
And you are very unusual in that you turned it into a pretty lucrative enterprising thing. Like, how did you do that?
So I realized that there were, if you loved hosting events, there are 3 ways to make money.
Okay.
One is you sell tickets and you build a consumer business. Number 2 is you build more of an actual community. You sell memberships. Mm-hmm. And then the third one is you figure out who wants to reach the people in the room and you sell them tickets. Mm-hmm. I call those sponsors. Yeah. I realized that a lot of the people going to my events were these founders and CEOs. I don't know why. Yeah. But there were a lot of them. And I remember the first founder that came to my event, I'd never met a founder before. Yeah. It was such an unusual word. But then I started to realize, these companies, these banks would offer me money. Yeah. To be in the room. Mm-hmm. So I started designing these sponsorship packages and selling them access over the course of a year. They get access to 1 event a month for 12 events a year, and it was lucrative. And it made sense to quit Google at that point.
And then at some point, okay, so you got sponsors coming in, and then at some point you kind of figured out that there's like a venue side to this as well. Like venues can be a part of it. How does that work? Yeah.
So one of my favorite rooftop bars when I had first come to New York was this bar called Citizen M. Okay. And I was like, this place is amazing. And I was like, I would love to host here one day. And so I went on LinkedIn and I started DMing their executive team, their chief commercial officer.
You just found it on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
You found the person. Okay.
Yeah. And I was just kind of relentless. I just kept bothering him. And eventually we got on a call because he was probably like, who's this guy? Yeah. And there were sort of two things going for me at the time. One is I loved hosting events. There's no business around it at the time.
Yeah.
And so I think when we talked, he was just very eager to sort of figure me out and like work with me. And I think he saw a lot of potential in me for whatever reason. And then two is, the hotels and the bars were struggling because it was COVID.
Yeah.
Right after COVID. And so they really needed business. And I started realizing like they would pay 10 to 15% of their bar spend out to me.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't charge for rental. And we even got to a point where they were paying me, thousands of dollars each month to host one event there each month.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. I don't know if we can do that anymore because the hotels have a lot more leverage now. And the bars.
Things have come back.
Back.
Was that during COVID?
It wasn't during. It was like right after.
Right.
Yeah, right after. When people hadn't moved back to New York yet. So the rents were still low, still fairly empty.
And then what about, I think I get the idea that you have founders, let's say in a room, and then a bank is going to want to sponsor it. And I think I get the idea that there's a venue and you start to show that you can bring a lot of people and there's like an economic model there. What about the people themselves? Like the ticket, right? Or the membership? What do you think people were paying for? Like what were they in it for, the people who were coming out to your events?
Yes.
And maybe there's different kinds of events that you've thrown. Paint us a little picture there.
So most people don't pay. Most of our events are free.
Okay.
Well, we do maybe 3 to 4 different types of events. We do the CEO dinner. We do these big mixers. We do this house thing where we rent out a mansion and we'll do 3 days of events there. And then we have a conference.
Yeah.
The conference is the only thing we sell tickets to.
Okay.
I don't like charging people if I don't feel like I can provide enough value.
Got it. Okay.
them.
So you were laying out the different ways to make money,
Yeah.
but it sounds like your core business has been sponsor driven.
It's 80% of our business.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is dumb. This is just kind of a thought experiment, but I feel like that sponsor model works particularly well in tech, right?
Yeah.
There's like a lot of money sloshing around. People want to get to founders. Just as a thought experiment, if you worked in a different vertical, like if you were, I don't know, out of fashion or you were Hollywood, like entertainment, is this replicable? Like, do you feel like you could figure this out in any vertical? Or do you think there's something unique to tech where like it works in tech, but if I'm hearing this and I'm in a different, I don't work in tech, like, can this work for me?
So we tried expanding outside tech to like heads of marketing. Like that's instead of founders, it's heads of marketing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd consider that tech. A lot of the marketing guys are not in the tech side.
Yeah.
They're like traditional companies, agencies, and we've done a few experiments, and that has been more lucrative because the contract sizes are bigger.
Yeah.
So if I had to extrapolate this model to all the non-tech industries, it's understanding, at the end of the day, it's a marketplace. All these events are a marketplace, and it's understanding the largest contracts out there. Yeah. So I'm sure they're equivalents for Hollywood, for art, for all these different worlds.
Yeah.
But I think maybe the only point of resistance is maybe a cultural thing.
Yeah.
If it's, sponsorships in tech are totally acceptable, but maybe in other places it's weird to have to pay, to be in the room.
And did you figure that out before you got going? Like, did you start with the sponsor who would do it in mind and then reach out and then do the event and figure out who to bring in the room? Like, what came first in your approaching this?
It's always I'm way too risk averse, and I've never lost money on the project. Or for, I think on like most of the projects, I've never lost money, 99% of them. And it's always because like I take all the risk off the table first. Yeah. I need to get 3 sponsors to cover the cost, cover, the operating costs for my team, and then I'll like fill the room. And it works out for the sponsors too, because I ask them like, who do you want in the room? And I'll go and find those people and fill the room instead of like presenting a finished product to them.
And who's the best person to talk to
at these companies?
Within an organization to find like who has budget for this or who do you?
Yeah.
Who do you go to?
It depends on the type of company, but it's usually like the head of marketing.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of these tech companies now have these VC startup teams that are fairly new. They've started to spin up in the last 2-3 years. So like the head of startups at these companies, at these AI companies. And then we have, a big part of our business is law firms too. And law firms is just a partner or the business development person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always the marketing or salesperson. And then sometimes it's the CEO if it's a small company.
Yeah. So where are you now with this? Like you kind of came at this from being a kid who didn't know anyone with the big dream.
Yeah.
And then you experimented your way and now you're like, whatever they call you, the Great Gatsby of New York's in-person scene, tech scene, whatever.
I still have to read the book.
What motivates you now? Like now you probably have met too many people.
Yeah.
Like how do you think about this now?
I'm still trying to figure that out every day. I feel like, a lot of the people in my network are if they don't have a strong mission, and that strong mission is usually, the strongest sense of mission I see is with these founders or builders who have raised money and have one very specific narrow target they want to hit. But everyone else I don't really have a strong sense of mission right now. So, the business is working. It's profitable. We're very small. Yeah. This is our second year. It's actually as of, I think, Sunday, it's our second year.
Nice. And how big is the team?
We have a lot of part-time people.
Okay.
We have about 2 people offshore full-time. And then 2 people in New York full-time.
Okay. And
a lot of part-time people. And a lot of volunteers.
Okay.
People love volunteering for events.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, where am I right now? And so this year we'll do a little better than last year, maybe like plus 30%.
So but it's a lot better.
It's a lot but our baseline is very low.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like there's 2 questions I'm asking myself right now.
Yeah.
One is like, if I took a bit more risk, and that's partially inspired by you. Like if I took a bigger swing, a bit more risk, I'm very comfortable right now. So like if I was a little less comfortable and like reached a little further, what would that look like? Uh-huh. And then the second thing is, if I could only do one thing for the rest of my life, work on one problem, what would that be? Mm-hmm. And it's certainly not, put law firms and banks in front of founders. That's nowhere close.
Yeah.
It's closer to the other stuff we're talking about, which is how do you help people find human connection and find their partner and solve the loneliness, problem and all the stuff you're thinking about. So I don't have an answer, but I'm kind of fighting those 2 things.
Yeah, you're working it out.
Yeah.
Speaking of finding a partner, let's talk about relationship stuff.
Yeah.
To what extent, one of the things we notice at Pi is like 75% of our most active joiners are single. But almost all of them say they don't want Pi to be the dating thing. So I don't know. I've been kind of kicking around this idea that like we all have a mammal brain and we also have a lizard brain underneath that. If you look at our development, and the mammal brain is like, I want to belong. I want a tribe. I want community. I want friends. And then the lizard brain is like, she's hot. I want her. And a lot of what brings us out and about is the combination of needs, right? Like the desire for the different kinds of, different Greek forms of love. We just say love in one way in English. And in Greek, you've got agape, which is the love of the tribe, and philia, which is the love of platonic friends, and storge, which is the love of family, and ludus, which is flirtatious love, and eros, which is romantic love. What do you think for you was the role that being single played when you were starting out? And tell us about how that's evolved.
I would say about a third. And the reason I say a third, I know it's very specific, is because I know my 3 goals when I moved here, when I started hosting these events, were 1, to find my friends, find my community. 2 was, maybe find my partner. And then the last one was meet people that I would have never had the chance to meet in Toronto. Like these like awesome, inventors and builders. But a third of it was like, maybe I'll meet my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So tell us about that. How did that happen?
We didn't meet directly through the events.
Yeah.
I was hosting. I made it a rule to never hit on people that came to my events. I needed to, I felt weird.
Like separate it.
Yeah, very separate.
Okay.
Actually, surprisingly, a lot of people gave me shit for thinking that way. They were like, you should.
Like your friends, other guys.
Yeah. They were like, you should. I mean, it's your party. You should do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I felt, a sense of responsibility.
You felt like you were working kind of.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I felt like it was like a little. I also cared so much about my reputation.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be known as that guy who just like.
It's creepy.
Yeah, hosted
party and
hosted these parties.
People.
Yeah, because people were wondering like, why is this guy hosting like 100 events a year? Or like at that point maybe it was like 10.
Yeah.
And I didn't want the answer to be he's trying to find a wife. Like you never want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And there are people who do it now who are like known as that guy, and I'm like, I'm just dodged a bullet. So I met Nicole. Nicole's her name. She was a founder. She dropped out of school, built a cybersecurity company.
Yeah.
And she DM'd me and she was like, "Can I go to your Junto club?" She sent me 3 paragraphs.
What's your Junto club? The
Junto club. So I stole the idea from Ben Franklin. Has this concept where he would get together a dozen people every month.
Okay.
These are like philosophers, academics, artists, and they would just talk about life, like philosophy. And so it was my version was
over a dinner, or
it was just over like a mixer, social.
Okay.
I believe. Maybe I'm wrong.
And then how did you do it?
I did it 60 to 80 people at the Citizen M rooftop every month. The most interesting people I had met online.
Okay.
And I just wanted to convene them in person.
Okay.
And I think I marketed it well because she was like, "This is what I've been looking for. I really want to come." But we had a wait list at that point. We had thousands of people on the wait list.
And was it actually just kind of like a group gathering, random serendipitous conversation? Or did you somehow structure the content or the programming, or
there's a little bit of structure,
the way that people got together?
There's a little bit of structure.
Okay.
So I made people fill out these extensive registration forms. What are your goals? What's brag about yourself. And then they had to put their LinkedIn in and all that stuff. And I would, first of all, I'd read through every single response and figure out whether or not, I wanted them to come.
Yeah.
And then second of all, I would put them into categories. And there, each event had maybe 8 to 10 categories.
Yeah.
And so like this was a while back, but maybe like CEOs in one category, and then like people who love running in another category, and so forth. And I would put them all in an email thread and ask them to introduce themselves 48 hours ahead of the event.
Okay.
And when
they just have an email back and forth.
Yeah, just massive email chain. And they loved it. They loved it because the way I designed the events was for anxious people, for myself. Like if I was invited to this Junto club, how would I want the programming to look like so that I could feel comfortable? And that worked. The email thing worked. The other thing is when they arrived at the venue, they picked up they were assigned a color because of their group, and they would put a sticker on their, on their chest. And everyone would be like, "Oh, you're blue. We're in the same group." And it would just be the best icebreaker. So that's why people loved it. People left with friends. We did our last Junto club of the year last week. And there were people who came out who went to the original Junto club 4 years ago, who stayed in touch with their group.
Yeah.
There's even been instances where like they go to each other's weddings. They've stayed really close.
That's cool. And the Junto club is also free.
It's free.
It's if you decide that someone should get invited, they come, and then there's sponsors for that too.
Not usually. The hotel would pay for it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, this was the hotel one.
Okay, got it.
Now we have sponsors sometimes.
Yeah.
I just at the time I didn't want to sell sponsorships. It was just so special. I would sell sponsors and everything else, but not the Junto club.
Okay,
so that was like my fun event.
Nicole DMs you.
Yeah, she was like, "Can I come? Like, I'll help you clean up."
And Can I Come, was it the kind of thing where there were like people applying, or you had a lot more demand than you had capacity?
Yeah, we had thousands of people on the wait list, on the registration list. Yeah.
And was it the kind of thing where once you were in then, or was it a case by case decision?
It was case by case.
Okay.
There's very little logic to it.
Okay.
I would try to sub out 30% of the people for new people each month.
Okay.
And also people would drop off, and like, sometimes people were on vacation or whatever.
Yeah.
But we had this huge wait list, and she wrote this really nice message. She was like, "Can I come?" And I said, "No, we're full. We're full. We have to," because I didn't want to be the guy who like let cute girls in because they were cute.
Yeah.
But we had a wait list. I just I felt the need to be more principled.
But you saw that she was cute.
I saw that she was cute. She
From
had
her like
Twitter
profile.
Yeah,
okay.
she was cute. And then I think like 6 months later we reconnected, and like,
wait, it was 6 months?
yeah,
You
6
got
months.
this like DM from a
January.
cute girl who wants to come.
Yeah.
You say no.
I say no.
And then 6 months of just nothing?
Yeah, 6 months of nothing.
Okay.
And then it was like June. She messaged me in January.
Yeah.
Then it was June.
Couldn't you have technically asked her out separately at that point? Because it's like you didn't cross your mind.
No.
Okay.
I can't. Well, it's like, you can't come, but can I take you out? It would be so weird.
Okay.
Also, at that point, I was still probably like a little shy, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe a little bit.
Okay. So what happened 6 months later?
6 months later, we reconnected somehow, either
Yeah.
through DMs or she applied. She got in.
Yeah.
She showed up,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, she's cool.
Yeah.
She's cool. So we became friends for a bit.
Yeah.
Started hanging out as friends, and I think after a month,
Yeah.
I just asked her out.
Yeah.
But I like to think I did it in a very thoughtful way,
Gentlemanly way.
gentlemanly way.
And for people out there now, people who are looking, right? People who
Yeah.
are going to events, let's say they're in that a third bucket. What advice do you have to someone who is trying to put themselves out there some more? Not from the vantage point even of the host. What advice do you have on meeting someone? Like, what have you learned about pairing up? Is just chance, or
Yeah,
anything
what?
to pass on?
I feel like the millennial generation plus is all about putting your intentions forward. Mm-hmm. So, i.e., asking someone out, or like
Mm-hmm.
the first time you meet someone, making it clear that you want to go on a date with them.
Yeah.
I think I believe in the Gen Z way a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which is, you meet someone, you become Instagram friends, you see, a little bit of their life, and you get
Yeah.
to assess compatibility, because like maybe you're DMing, you're like passive internet friends.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where, you either meet up in person or you ask them out. But I like that moment where you spend a bit of time together, like digitally,
Yeah.
trying to understand them, and you could do that through the feed.
And then how do you cross over from that like parasocial relationship to an actually social relationship? Does it take someone like Nicole like kind of crossing the divide and initiating,
Yeah.
hey, I want to come to something, without it really being clear, but maybe were you thinking maybe she liked you, or were you thinking at the time she was just someone who wanted to come to the thing?
I didn't think she liked me.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
I
didn't
was
have
like
that
I was a little kind of reaching. Yeah, I couldn't tell if she liked me or she just liked the events.
So like, how do you cross over then? Like, let's say I am doing some of this like
Yeah.
digital vibing of like, is there a thing here?
I
Like sliding into the DMs is like,
yeah.
do you just wait till you're in person with someone? Like,
I did it through text.
okay. But how did you get her number?
Oh, we met at the Junto she went to.
Okay, you met at the Junto.
We met at the Junto. We exchanged numbers.
But why? Just because conversation was good, or?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
remember.
so you got a number at the thing.
I think in tech, like you meet someone, you're exchanging numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like too forward, I think. But,
Yeah.
But we did that.
Did you do the thing, or did you just literally?
I don't remember.
Maybe
I think we maybe
the,
bumped.
Before the was even a thing.
We might have bumped.
And then you texted her, and
so we were friends for like, a little while.
yeah.
And then I asked her, I think I asked her something to the effect of, I would like to take you out, or may I meet, have you heard the may I meet you thing?
I've heard a lot about the may
that.
I meet you. Too good.
It was, I think I was like, I like you, I'd like to take you out. But if it's not mutual, I still like to be friends. So something along the lines of like, if you want to go out, let's go on Saturday. I got something planned. If not, let's co-work on Sunday and we can stay friends. So I always gave like a path, out. Like if she wasn't into it, I always gave them a path.
This is a very hedged strategy. And so what'd she say?
It's something an anxious person would do because you don't want to get rejected. So you always, and Priya Parker writes about it in The Art of Gathering. Like,
what did she say?
She says something about generous exclusion. She talks about how communities have to be exclusive because when you close the door, you create the room. Yeah. And so as you say no to people, give them a place to land. Right. So that's why we have so many events, because a lot of the events are very exclusive, like the CEO dinners. Right. Someone doesn't meet the criteria, the objective criteria. Here's another event you can go to.
But you were doing like a reverse Priya Parker where you were giving yourself a place to land. You were like, hey, do you want to go out? By the way, if not, maybe I can co-work with you. So what'd she say?
She's like, yeah, sure. Yeah. She's like, I'd like that. And then, the rest is history.
And now you've been dating for
2 years. Two years and 3 months.
And there's a dog?
We have a little Klikai. Well, she has a Klikai. I take care of him most days because she's in the office 5 days a week.
And the Klikai is famous, maybe.
A little bit, yeah. No? Like
Instagram,
a few thousand followers. Yeah, she's got this. She's like a running influencer, so she's more famous.
Nicole is.
Yeah, she ran this 50-mile race from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. overnight. Shit. 50 miles, 11 hours.
Where'd she do that?
Austin.
And this was recent?
A month ago, a few weeks ago.
She felt good after?
She was like dancing after. Everyone else was like destroyed. She was dancing. She just got incredible.
Were you down there?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard for me too. I had to stay up giving her gels. I stayed up all night too, 11 hours.
Like moving from station to station?
Yeah, and they're far from each other. So I ended up getting probably running a few miles myself.
Look at you.
Yeah.
And then the running influencer thing, was that inspired by you or she was already doing that before you met her?
You know what? She just likes doing hard things.
Yeah.
She just likes doing really hard things. So yeah, she saw that and she was like, I want to go see if I can do it. Yeah. And she had everything against her. Like she has this thing called exercise-induced anaphylaxia. So if you run too hard, you can't breathe. Like you start getting rashes. Yeah. And then she had a bunch of stuff. Like it was hard. It's tough. I was very impressed.
Let's talk about hard shit. So what was the hardest thing you went through as a kid?
As a kid, I got into a lot of trouble when I was in China. I was in jail for one night.
Yeah, what happened?
I stole a tennis racket with my friends. It's like if you grew up in China, like at that time, Shanghai was like the Wild West. Yeah, you could get away with so much stuff. So we just kept trying to push the boundaries. Yeah, I was in jail one night. I had you might find this funny. Do you remember Kony 2012? No. Is this like a African warlord who was like abusing child soldiers, and there's this whole political campaign against him.
There was a big documentary on Kony.
Huge documentary. Yeah, great marketing. And I saw that, and I was like, I don't know anything about politics, but I want to support this, and so I'll throw the after party. Because there was a whole protest they were organizing. Okay. And like you can't do this stuff in China. You can't like have organized, groups. Protest. Yeah. And Facebook was banned, but you could get on with a VPN. And so I that was maybe the first party I ever hosted, or tried to host. I tried to host the Kony 2012 after party. Mm-hmm. I had 500 people RSVP.
This is in China?
This is in China. This is 2010.
And you were like 16?
Yeah, like 15, 16.
Okay. So you were a little bit of you've been like a convener, bringing people together the whole way. A little bit.
Yeah. And now when I think back, because it was so, the dopamine rush of seeing people RSVP is very validating. It's like getting a like. It's like this person wants to come to my party. Yeah. But we had 500 RSVPs. We had the whole thing planned. And then one morning, Chinese Communist Party officials came to my apartment at like 6 a.m. They had all my stuff printed out, a folder of all my stuff, and they were like, you need to shut this down right now.
Were you stressed?
I was too stupid. I was too young and stupid. My parents were stressed. I was just like, this is funny. This is
You
funny.
thought it was funny.
I thought it was really funny.
And then you're like, I'm going to steal a tennis racket. What's the relationship between these things?
The tennis racket was probably like 6 months later.
Oh, okay.
It was just separate. I don't know. I was trying to do stuff that would give me a rush.
You stole it from like a store or from a person?
Yeah, like a Chinese Walmart, like a Chinese version of Walmart. Yeah.
And you thought you'd get away with it?
I didn't even think about that. Like I didn't think about the consequences, or I just thought it'd be fun, see if I could pull it off. I did it with 2 other guys. We were all in jail.
And when you were in jail, then were you scared?
I think so. But the 2 guys I was with, they were more scared than me, so yeah. I felt better.
You weren't scared of your parents?
No, they didn't even say anything to me after.
Really?
They didn't have to. They were just like, you messed up. They didn't. Their kind of parenting was like very silent. They didn't have to say anytime we got in trouble, they were just like silent.
So let's just say like that goes in the bucket of that was stupid, but it didn't really have that big of an emotional impact on you. What did? Like something happened growing up that you like in retrospect was like, oh, that was hard, or that was a gut punch, or
yeah. I guess, there was some bullying, a little bit of bullying. When I was much younger, I remember this instance where my friends or people who I thought were my friends were throwing this birthday party.
Yeah.
And then last minute, someone was like, oh, it's canceled. And I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I started texting everyone on my like Nokia. And I was like, it's canceled? It's canceled?
Yeah.
And people started responding being like, wait, what? It's canceled? And I found out that they just told me it was canceled.
Oh, yeah. That's cold.
I forgot how it ended. I didn't end up going to the party.
That's cold.
Yeah. Yeah. That's still like, at the time it didn't feel, now when I think back, I'm like, wow, that sucked.
Yeah.
But at the time it didn't feel,
it wasn't like
I was just more confused. I was so confused.
Because you didn't realize what happened?
Yeah.
But once you realized what happened, then it was like, not even.
I think it took me a few days. I was like, oh, like, are they just miscommunicating?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I get it. I'm the sucker.
I'm the odd man out.
Yeah.
And what about as an adult? What's been the hardest thing you've gone through?
You know what? The visa stuff has been tricky. The only time I have stayed up all night on my phone trying to figure something out is visa stuff.
Yeah.
When I first got a job at Facebook, they couldn't give me a green card.
Yeah. Because
they were getting sued by the Department of Justice, I think, for issuing too many green cards.
Yeah.
It was a Facebook thing. And it's hard because like if my performance was bad and I got fired, I would get deported.
Yeah.
If I changed job, I would need a new visa, and you go through this like uncertainty again, wondering whether or not you could stay in the country. So I left. One of the reasons I left Facebook and went to Google was because Google was like, "We'll give you your green card." But then I get to Google and they start laying people off.
Yeah.
This was like 2022, these mass layoffs. And when you lay workers off in America, you can't issue green cards because the argument is that there's so much talent in the market.
Yeah.
Doesn't justify you sponsoring an immigrant worker. And after, and I started seeing the wait times and it was getting worse. And so that's one of the reasons I went off on my own. I was like, there's this other path called the alien path, extraordinary alien path. I'm going to take that, see if I can do it myself. And it worked out. I mean, it almost worked out. I'll have my green card in 6 to 8 months.
What's the extraordinary alien path?
You have to meet certain criteria.
It's kind of a cool term, but...
It's a cool term. Yeah, extraordinary individual
sounds like
alien.
A good brand. Okay.
It's supposed to be meant for either like athletes, like all the athletes, all the international athletes you hear about, or researchers, or academics, scientists, people that benefit America.
How did you represent that? Like, how did you approach it?
So I saw the criteria, and there's 8 things, and on the top was press, and then it was like compensation and all these other things. I looked at press and I was like, and I was looking at this criteria and I told myself, or I realized that, hey, if I hit everything on this list, that would mean I would have built a pretty cool life for myself, like a pretty cool career. And it was sort of like, I wasn't just going for the green card. I was going for like the list, because the list means I maybe would have made it.
Yeah.
The first thing was press, and like, yeah, it's cool to get press. I never could afford, an agency or anything.
Yeah.
But I met someone through Twitter who was very good at press.
Yeah.
Lori Siegel. I think maybe we've talked about her before. She did the press for Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Cook, Sam Altman, and then she helped me with my branding, and she helped me, get a bit of press.
Yeah.
Just as a favor, because she was like, I think you have a cool story, and I want to see you stay in America.
Got it.
And then it just snowballed from there. That's press, and then it was like, start judging. You have to be like a judge at a business conference.
That's on the list of 8 things?
Yeah. You have to be part of an exclusive members club.
This is a crazy list.
It's
This is
insane.
like U.S. government generates this?
Yeah. And it's outdated too. So a lot of the things don't even make sense.
Business conference.
It's crazy. The compensation one was the hardest one. A lot of these YC founders get it because their companies are on paper worth tens of millions of dollars.
I see.
But if you don't raise money, the bar is super high.
What do you have to represent?
So if you don't raise money in New York City and you want to self-sponsor through the O1, you have to have personal income of $550,000.
Wow.
And I saw that. I was like, I don't know how anyone meets that bar.
And so then that was like a new goal for you.
That was the goal. And I was like, I have to make, at least for 1 year, I have to make this amount.
And you hit it.
I hit it.
Just by like cranking the frequency of your events, or what?
We did over 100 events last year.
Yeah.
It was like
Last year was the year where you had where you were focused.
Yeah.
On.
Any chance I could get, I would just like, just like try to sell stuff.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like grifting. I wasn't trying to sell anything that I didn't believe could provide value to the person, who was buying it. And like most of our sponsors are with us today.
Yeah.
Our retention's pretty high. But it worked out.
We talked about the social anxiety thing at the beginning of this. What makes you anxious now?
I've realized how much of anxiety is like a biochemical thing.
Uh-huh.
So when I drink a bit of coffee, I just started drinking coffee again recently. I get way more anxious. Thank you. We have this awesome coffee machine. It's so good.
Yeah.
But there's certain situations where I'm just like more anxious, and I ask myself, why am I anxious? And the answer is just because of your monkey mind. You've heard of the monkey mind concept?
I've heard of it, but say more about it.
It's like your reptile mind. It's like all these things that, it's the most inner part of your, I don't know the neuroscience, but the most inner part of your brain that you can't control. It's not logical.
Yeah.
It's like the system one, it just reacts to stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of that is sort of, the biochemistry drives it.
Yeah.
And so there's certain times where I'm anxious, but I'll just try to push that aside and be like, this is my anxious brain, my monkey mind doing its work.
Yeah.
And I need the logical brain, the frontal lobe, I think, to counteract that. So a lot of the anxiety is just like the chemistry.
So you got a coffee machine to really test this?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, it makes me anxious, but I know that's just my monkey brain. I'm going to overcome it.
It's been working.
The thinking about the override.
Yeah, just put it to the side. Anytime I'm like, thinking these thoughts that everyone thinks about, judgment and sort of social norms, I put it to the side. I just ignore it.
What about fear? Like, what makes you afraid?
There's growing up in Asia for 20 years, you're like conditioned a certain way. And one of the things we're conditioned to think conditioned to think about is like social hierarchy.
Uh-huh.
And so even today, I'm meeting a lot of, these like prominent founders, CEOs.
Yeah.
It's still hard to talk to them as a peer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's hard like to swear in front of them or like to be, to joke because it seems like it's disrespectful. That's something that I found it really hard, and that's needed in the startup world.
Yeah.
I think it serves a purpose in like, the large corporations, but when you go to the startup world, like you got to throw that out the window, and that's hard. That's been really hard.
Like you still feel like deferential or something, or
yeah, I can't be myself. Like if I'm in a conversation with someone I met for the first time who I know is famous and who I respect a lot, I can't be myself. I'm like nervous, or like maybe there's a wall that I can't break through, at least for the first few interactions. That's hard. And I think a lot of the Asians I grew up with probably feel the same way.
In your mind, is it a paradox though that like if you could break through and be you, that would be the most influential thing you could do? Like the best way to make a lasting impression is through the authenticity of being Andrew Yeung, and that like holding back, you're on the other side of the wall, probably unlikely to be a connecting experience for the other person. Like, are you aware of that paradox, or is that a thought that goes to your mind? Like, I need to break through?
Yeah.
Or not necessarily?
It's wishful thinking, because in practice it's still hard, because you show up and they're all, again, it's the monkey mind that is like talking in your ear and like forcing you to act a certain way. I will say my success in the past has been through, call it the third door. Like if I meet someone and I'm not able to make a good impression, I will follow up so well where they're like, this person is like insane.
Well, tell us about the third door. What is that?
Third door is, so imagine you're trying to get into a club and it's packed and it's the hottest club in town.
Yeah.
The first door that everyone goes through is like you wait in line. It'll take hours. Maybe you never get in.
Yeah.
The second door is maybe you're famous or you're rich and you could tip, you could pay the bouncer and you get a shortcut.
Yeah.
Now, most people don't have the second door, and most people don't want to wait in line. And so the third door is people who are more creative, who find a more resourceful way to get in a club. So maybe it's you go to the garbage chute and you climb up, or there's a trap door, or like you dig a tunnel underneath. Yeah. It's finding the creative ways to get what you want.
But I feel like you did the fourth door.
What's the fourth door?
The fourth door is you built the club. Right? Like you became the club owner.
Right.
You became the person that like convened everybody. Like I saw recently like a quote of the best way to have a seat at the table is to host the dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you can't get a seat at the table, create the table yourself. I like that.
Speaking of clubs, there's been some coverage recently, this idea of like the death of partying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you believe, is that a thing? Like, what's your take on that?
I believe that alcohol consumption is going down.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of club owners and hospitality people. Nobody's buying bottled service.
Yeah.
Concerts are still doing well. Like it's growing like 6 to 8%, year over year. As an industry, but nobody's like doing the bottle service, drinking, traditional partying.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, people are getting lonelier, and the percentage of people with one friend is going down.
Yeah.
So people are looking for an outlet to meet people, to meet others, but it's not the nightclub.
And are you optimistic? When you think about these issues that we face, do you feel optimistic or do you feel concerned?
I'm generally super optimistic.
Yeah.
So I'm very optimistic, and I believe someone's going to solve it. I don't know what. I have a few ideas in terms of what form it might take.
Yeah.
But I'm certain someone will solve it.
Yeah.
And these numbers will reverse.
One thing I noticed about you with ideas is if you have an idea, you like share it. You'll put it out there of like, hey, here's the thing I think could happen or see happening. Other entrepreneurial-minded people are like, oh, that idea is my insight about the future. I'm going to go do something about it. How do you decide to share? And have you ever thought that rather than, deferring to the status of founders or trying to break through, becoming one?
I think about it sometimes, especially in this period where I have those, the forces nagging at me, which is like, I should take more risk and I should spend the rest of my life doing the thing I want to do. So I'm thinking about it a lot right now. I think, people have been saying, for the longest time, people have been saying ideas are cheap. Execution is everything. And then for the last year, it flipped. It's like ideas are everything. Yeah. Execution is easy because you have all these vibe coding tools. And I think maybe it's like shifting the other way again. But there's so many things I wish existed in the world.
Yeah.
I try to come up with one business idea every day. I think it's a good exercise for your brain.
Yeah.
And it ends up that...
Do you do it while you're doing the mouth exercises?
Yes. And I take 2-hour-long showers, and I'm just like...
You yawn 10 times, then you come up with your idea of the day. So anyways, it sounds like you've been...
Yeah. Well, I'd say that, like 10% of the ideas are good. And like people could build $1 million business, a year business out of them.
Yeah.
And I just wish they existed in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm not the person to build them, or I don't have the time or the resources to build them.
Yeah.
We have this. So the name of my company is Vibe, and we have all these event formats within it.
Yeah.
We have this fellowship program.
Yeah.
Just smart, ex-bankers, ex-Olympic athlete, I guess Olympic athletes. And the idea is for them to stay close to our community of founders and investors.
Yeah.
And eventually for them to build something of their own. Mm-hmm. And I try to give them the ideas. I'm like, can you guys build it?
Yeah.
Maybe the very early workings of a venture studio, minus the funding.
Yeah.
But there's so many things I wish existed in the world. And it's mostly around the community stuff, around family stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll share them one day or on LinkedIn or something. But I wish they existed. They should exist.
Andrew, you are so generous of spirit, so inspired by your story of coming here on a dream, knowing no one, and now you're someone that brought so many people together. Thank you. Tell us how we find you. What's the best way for people that want to follow your story and journey?
Yeah.
Social media, whatever. What's the best way to stay in touch with you?
So Instagram is @AndrewsMixers. And then my blog is www.andrew.today.
Yeah. Amazing. Thanks for being here on this episode of HumblePie. Thanks again to our sponsor, Pi. It's the only social app you'll ever need. You can find us at getpi.app. Follow us on Instagram @Pi. AY. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.